Hello and welcome to our dining room table. This is Mistakes Were Made, and today we are going to be doing a cash stuffing. So let's get started. I want to make sure that I'm not lingering too long on these videos. I know the last few have been kind of long, so hopefully we can get this one done in a reasonable time. I will introduce my little partner over here who's apparently decided he's going to sit in, and that is Percy. Hopefully he decides to be respectful of the process here. We'll see. So what are we working with today? We've got 100, 200, 300, 400, 50, 500, 50, 600, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 100, or well, 700, and 5, 6, 7. So $707, whoops, this time around. So, hey buddy. So for those of you who are new, we do our budgeting on a our paycheck by basis, and so it's a first pay period and a second pay period. Buddy, you know you don't get to be up here. And so we are in the first pay period of March. We do not stuff all of our envelopes every single pay period. Some are first pay period, some are second pay period, some are both. So let's get started. AAA, we do not fund during the first pay period, so we'll just put that to the back. Birthdays, we do. So let's get this going, and we are going to do $12 for that. It's interesting, the stuff that I got from the bank feels especially ratty this time around for some reason. Okay, so we've got 20, 40, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, $60 for birthdays. And today is the 3rd of April. Uh-oh. We may have some kitty shenanigans going on in the background. He's found a box to get in. Car maintenance gets $100. Oh my gosh, there's some dog hair on that. So that puts us at 100, 200, 300, 425. Now, I absolutely need to get my car in. It has been a long time. I think I said in a different one of these videos that I've kind of been putting it off. Typically, you do it every, I don't think you do it every 3 months anymore. I think it's more like 6 months or something like that. Or the certain mileage. Well, because I don't drive nearly as much as I used to, I figured I would wait until I actually hit the mileage. Well, I'm over the mileage now, so definitely need to get the car in. And with the 425, I think it was, hopefully that's a decent amount, because while I do need to get an oil change, I probably need to get a filter change too. And then of course, who knows what they'll find. So Christmas. Oh, Christmas is supposed to get $12 as well. You know what? For some reason, and obviously I was not paying attention properly, but I put the $12 that's for Christmas and birthdays. Birthdays does not get done this pay period. Oh my goodness. I'm not starting out on the best foot today, am I? So we will just cross that out so that it is correct. am going to blame being tired. I have not been sleeping well. And I mean, I guess that's a little bit unsurprising considering the situation, but I am a night person just in general. But yeah, it's been, I've had some tough time trying to sleep, in particular lately. Okay, so let's put this in here. There we go. So we've got 50, 60, 70, 80, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. $108. So we're almost a third of the way to our max of 350. Okay, clothing we do not do. Dine out gets $50. Entertainment also gets 50. Come on now. There we go. Gas gets 100. And again, if you're new, you may have noticed that none of the last three had trackers on them, and basically that's because for dining out and entertainment at the end of the month, if there's any money left over, we don't roll it over. It gets put to miscellaneous, or now that we're in a position to do savings challenges, we would put it towards savings challenges. And gas, we do the same thing, except it's by a per pay period cadence instead. So at the end of this pay period, whatever is left over will go that same route, and then we'll refresh this for pay period number 2. The other two are monthly ones. Garden and yard is going to get $25. And honestly, I should probably just go put this right back into my purse because I think we may even have a little bit of an overage. Yeah, this 25 does not exist anymore. From our efforts, our gardening efforts and costs from last month, but I'll have to go and double check. I might need to look into doing like IOUs. I'd really rather not have an IOU situation, but we'll have to see if that becomes a thing that I need to consider. But yeah, we're getting close to what I'm considering to be our limit for how much we're going to put into the garden. So there we are. Gifts does not get anything this month, but giving does get $5. And as you can see, we don't have any money in here. That is because we had a situation where I was at a store, and a young lady was trying to purchase some food, and for whatever reason her card was declining, and so I offered to pay for her stuff. And it wasn't very much. She had milk and a couple of other things, and so it essentially was the $15 that we had. saved up so far. So, you know, I was able to use it for something that I felt was a good cause. It was interesting though, the grocery clerk, you know, the clerk person that was doing stuff, after she had left, well, even while she was there, it was kind of like, yeah, I'll let this happen. And I was kind of like, well, I don't know that you really get to make that decision. But, you know, I didn't say anything about his attitude. But once she was gone, he's like, yeah, she usually doesn't have this problem. She was a known purveyor of the store and all of that. And it was just weird. And I get where he was coming from, because he did mention, you know, some people do that on purpose, that they bring a card that they know is closed or has issues in hopes that somebody will jump in and rescue them and stuff like that, and, you know, kind of in a scammy way. And I appreciate him kind of trying to watch out for people, but at the same time, I'd rather be taken advantage of in the rare occasion that I might jump in to help somebody, because it's not like I'm doing this every single day and spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars doing it. So have that opportunity to have been taken advantage of, versus letting somebody struggle and have that embarrassment, and at the end of the day not have the food and whatever that they actually need. And plus, it made me feel good to be able to help somebody. If somebody's being scammy, that's on them. All I have to, you know, be right with is myself. So I was in a position to help. I helped, and, you know, there you go. So grocery is $300 this time period, because though we usually do our grocery shopping on Thursdays, and I think that ends up landing in the second half of the pay period, we're doing the funding, and so we'll have 3 during the first pay period. And I did not want to accidentally short ourselves for that, because I did do that one time, because I didn't pay attention to how many Mondays were in the month. Okay, health, we have $10. They gave me a broken bill. Okay, we are at $30, and I know we took $10 to pay for something with the grocery situation. I think it was last week, which is why it's showing as $30 again on the tracker. What I'm really bad about is actually when we've taken money, if it's not like the entire thing, subtracting it from the tracker. So I don't know how helpful this actually is, but it's an area I can try and be better at. Household, we are back down to $25 instead of the $50 we were doing previously. Of course, that was just for March, so. And that $50 each pay period went directly to the recliner funds, so it's well worth it. So that's $25 for that. Next, we have licenses. And that's another thing I need to make sure I stay on top of. Oops. Because I do not want to be late in renewing my driver's license. So we've got 50, 61, 62, 63, 64. This is one that we do fund each pay period. So at 64, we've got 2 more pay periods to get to the $80 that I've calculated it'll be to renew my license and get the Real ID star or whatever. I still haven't quite figured out if it would cost me more money. I have to assume it would, because that seems like it would be a money-making opportunity, to have my license renewed for not just 4 years, but for 8 years. We'll see. So, you know, as we build it up, hopefully whatever we build up to by the time I actually go and do it will be enough to cover that total. If it's not, then I'll probably still go for that longer term, and we'll have an IOU situation. I'd like to avoid that, but you know, miscellaneous, we don't have anything in there right now. Pets is next pay period. Prime is next pay period. Savings, we are not adding anything to this anymore, so it goes back here. And then taxes gets $20. And that puts us at 20, 40, 60, 80, 95, 96, 97. Okay. Oops. All right, so that is the last of our standard savings envelopes. Here's our recliner savings. We have not had an opportunity to go and actually look at recliners yet. I think we're probably going to wait until, I would assume, some around May, because that's when we should see like the Memorial Day sales. There are also like Christmas and July sales that come around in July, so you know, we want to get the best bang for our buck and best deals, but the money is here and ready, saved up to $500. We will not be doing anything with the savings challenge this time around. Oh my gosh, dog hair everywhere. Because we didn't have any leftover money. If you watched our budget recap, which would have been the last video that we put up, you know that we had a little bit of overage of extra spending. So in light of that, we didn't have any extras available here, because anything that was extra at the time we put towards some of the extra costs, and even then that wasn't enough to fully cover the things that we did purchase outside of budget. So this pay period we will not be funding the plants, which is fine. You know, there's consequences to every action and every decision, and you know, that's one of them. All right, so that is the end of that. As always, thank you so much for watching and for liking, subscribing, putting your questions, your hey, how you doing, you know, your support down in the comments. Very much appreciate that. As I mentioned in the last video, we will be doing kind of a retrospective of the last 6 months to go over, you know, where we started and where we are right now, since we have hit the 6-month mark of having the channel, as well as, you know, starting this journey. And there is a community post out there. If you have any specific questions or details that you would like me to touch on during that particular video, please look for that post and post your question or whatever there, so that I can see it, and I'll try to make sure I include, you know, pertinent information. If you don't, that's great too. I do have a plan of what I want to present, but I did want to give the opportunity, if people had very specific inquiries, to have a place for you to put those questions and stuff. All right, so we are right at the 20-minute mark. I need to go have my lunch. I've already been out in the garden. I wanted to get this done during my lunch hour as well, and then I'm gonna get back to work. Alrighty, so on that note, we'll see you in the next one.